Hey, how's it going everybody? It's Ish the PowerPoint Gamer here, and it's new console gen season. Admittedly, I consider the Switch to kind of be the beginning of this new console gen, since everybody gets one, and in my opinion, the Wii U was the competitor to the Xbox One and PS4, whatever little competition it really offered. But now we're getting completely new consoles that can handle new types of experiences and new types of games. And looking at it, in pretty much every facet, the PS5 is kind of pulling ahead here. In terms of numbers and in terms of games, the PS5 is out and out, and right now, the current champion.
Is it time to talk about Xbox again? Did I hear the new Xbox? Did someone say the Xbox Series X?
Dude, chill. You're making all Xbox fans look bad right now. And what are you doing here anyway?
Bro, we already know what's going on. I'm here to argue, man. It's PS5 versus Xbox Series X. Didn't you read the title?
And just like that, the fourth wall is gone. Okay. Wait, did you say you like the Series X over the PS5?
I mean, if you couldn't already tell, yeah, I do. Why, are you on Team PlayStation in these new releases?
If it wasn't obvious by now, yes, I am. And you better be on something to be making a claim that stupid. The PS5 is far and away the best console leading into this holiday season. And if you really want to claim otherwise, you're either lying to yourself, hanging on to some false hope, or you have a Phil Spencer shrine in your room.
Regardless if I have that shrine in my room, which I don't have that shrine. That's not real. But regardless, the Xbox is much better than the PlayStation. It's definitely the better console for this Christmas.
Guess we gotta settle it like always?
In Smash?
What? No. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's time for FaceOff.
Oh, well, I was gonna say, I'd absolutely obliterate you in Smash.
Bro, what the hell are you talking about? I'd crush you. As always, in every face-off, there will be categories that we debate in. This time, there are going to be 4 categories to fight between the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. Software, hardware, the consumer friendliness, and next gen. Sounds good? Then let's get into it.
Honestly, I think I'm taking this one.
Yeah, and what makes you think that?
I mean, it's pretty simple. Xbox has 2 major things going for it in this category: backwards compatibility and Game Pass. Along with next gen, although I guess now it's current gen titles, feels weird. Running on the same system, Xbox has a pretty hard lead in my opinion.
Admittedly, the backwards compatibility argument is decent, but it's time to refute it. Backwards compatibility is something that everyone cries about when they don't have it, but they never use it. Think about how many times you've actually used your Xbox One to play your 360 games. Honestly, the only console I can think of where I use the backwards compatibility feature even somewhat extensively is my Wii to play old GameCube games. Backwards compatibility from Xbox One to Xbox Series X is important, and that full compatibility is nice, I will give you that. But in terms of PS4 to PS5, all the games you'll want to play from that console are available to play on PS5, and everything above that is kind of an afterthought. Beyond that, all the Game Pass games that are out right now are old games that were already available in a good enough form in last gen. The difference is, there are games that are already PS5 exclusives, like Bugsnax. The PS5 cross-gen games, like Spider-Man Miles Morales, very clearly look and run leagues better on the PS5 than the PS4. The Demon's Souls remake looks amazing, and it's basically a new game. The Xbox Series X, at least as it currently stands, doesn't have any games worth specifically getting a Series X for. And considering what Halo Infinite looked like and how much it got delayed, yeah, it really doesn't have anything on the PS5, on the software side at least.
Honestly, yeah, the Xbox Series X is great, but it doesn't really have any compelling titles yet. But we know that there's a lot coming, and more importantly, coming to Game Pass. What about Game Pass anyway?
Game Pass is great, but right now it just has old games. There's not any new experiences. To break the fourth wall for a second, going back to the script of this video, I thought that Yakuza Like a Dragon was actually on Game Pass, but it turns out it's not. So not only are there not many new experiences, there's straight up not any new experiences. But let's talk about Yakuza Like a Dragon for a second. The game already came out months ago for the PS4, and it'll be on the PS5 soon anyway. As it stands going into this holiday season, even with Game Pass, there's not any compelling software that should push you towards the Series X over a PS5.
Fair enough, though I think old games implies that these are some really archaic games on Game Pass. The selection on Game Pass is phenomenal, especially for new gamers with lots of fan favorites. But yet, it doesn't have something that would carry an entire console. I mean, being honest, I can't really even argue anything here. Halo Infinite was supposed to be the big system seller, but they have nothing on that front until like next summer, so the holiday window for the Xbox Series X looks pretty light.
Yeah, you were doomed in this category from the start. This round goes to PS5.
I'd honestly like to see you try to defend the PS5 right here.
There are a couple of things to be said here. The SSD tech in the PS5 is pretty vague, but from what I could gather, it's still more advanced than the Series X. Not to mention, the whole system is designed to be easily cleaned and maintained, and the internal storage is swappable if you want. In terms of raw numbers, I'll admit the Xbox is higher, but raw numbers don't mean everything. The PS5's high frame rate mode in a cross-platform game like the new COD actually outperforms the Series X's frame rate. And going into the new gen, with the last gen already being able to do 4K, frame rates are the next big next-gen graphical features. So even if the PS5 isn't running at as high a resolution in the high frame rate mode, it still ends up seeming more next-gen due to those higher frame rates. And plus, games like Miles Morales look absolutely stunning in high performance mode, so in terms of graphical capability, the PS5 is no slouch either. Full ray tracing, 4K, very detailed textures, they've fixed what's usually one of the fakest looking things in video games, the hair. The Xbox may have better on-paper performance, but we haven't seen anything that can really bring out that performance yet.
Well, the Xbox SSD isn't a slouch either. In all the load tests I saw, it beats the PS5. By a fraction of a second, mind you, though it doesn't really matter. So I think it's a little bit too close to call which one's better on that front. As well, for the frame rate thing, that may be true right now, but the on-paper extra horsepower just seems that currently isn't being fully tapped. Yes, COD may run at a higher frame rate on the PS5 right now, and sure, that might get COD sweats going, like, oh my god, I get 5 extra FPS, woo, I'm gonna win all the gunfights now. No, it really doesn't matter because it's not even that much higher. And also, the Xbox just has better hardware, so it's clearly just not being optimized right now. And obviously, we know that with such good hardware, it's going to be optimized in the future, and when that happens, it's going to blow past the PS5, no question.
See, you're right, but, I mean, we haven't seen any actual evidence of that yet.
You're right, but just based on the COD example alone, as well as all the updated games on Game Pass, it's a fair assumption I can make.
Fair enough.
Yep, this round goes to Xbox. This one's all mine. The Xbox Series X has full backwards compatibility with all Xbox One titles, most Xbox 360 titles, and a lot of original Xbox titles. And they really don't even have to try. The Xbox One and the PS4 were designed with the same architecture as the Xbox Series X and the PS5. It's not like the 360 or the PS3, which are designed some weird console-specific architectures. No, the last-gen systems and these next-gen systems are essentially made the same way, but with a ton of hardware updates. There's absolutely no reason that the PS5 can't right out of the box run every single PS4 games, but it just doesn't. Pair that with full Xbox backwards compatibility. In an era where games are being preserved more and more by collectors, people still have old Xbox games just lying around. But old hardware can fail, and so it's really cool to see a modern console that can still play your old favorites, even if most people don't really care about backwards compatibility, going faster than the Xbox One. Pair that with Microsoft just generally doing more for accessibility, like the Xbox Accessibility Controller, and the fact that the old Xbox One controllers you have lying around can still work with the Series X. And overall, just pair that all together and you have the most consumer-friendly console on the market.
All decent points, but you also omitted some of the more annoying issues. While you can use any external drive through USB, when it comes to faster SSD storage, the only way to do it right on the Xbox is to go back to a time where people had memory cards. Sure, I guess the idea is that you could probably take the memory card to a friend's house, but you know what else you can take to a friend's house? A game disc, or even better, a Switch. On the PS5, if you want to swap out the internal SSD and have another one, you can, it doesn't matter. Yes, Sony has some set rules like, hey, you want one that's at least this fast, but you can add that in there yourself without having to buy proprietary, overpriced forms of storage. If you want one of Xbox's memory cards, it's $220 extra on top of the original price of the PS3. That's $720 for those of you who don't feel like doing that math. frankly, that's kind of ridiculous. And plus, there is a reason memory cards died out. Beyond just that, the PS5 hasn't cut PS4 controller support entirely. Yes, you can't use it on every game, but if you play backwards compatible PS4 games, you can still use your old controller. And for the new games, it makes a lot of sense why the PS5 controller is required. There's just a lot more tech in there in the new controller. Adaptive triggers, the built-in mic, the enhanced rumble that developers are already taking advantage of. Compare that to the Series X and Series S controllers, which are basically just a smaller Xbox One controller with a share button, like that wasn't already a thing, a USB port, thanks for catching up, and some pimples. And by the way, even though it's the year 2020, Xbox still refuses to pack in rechargeable batteries. I get the idea is to give the players choice in what batteries they use, but at this point, I don't think people would be hung up on not having the option to use AA's. I mean, if Xbox had put a rechargeable battery in the new controller, it might have actually been an advantage they could use against the PS5, like, hey, our battery life lasts way longer since our controller doesn't do nearly as much. Plus, now some people are complaining that their hands are cramping up since the Xbox controller is too small.
Nice rant.
Thanks.
You want me to counter with my trump card?
Game Pass?
Game Pass.
To be fair though, the PS5 does have something that kind of counters Xbox Game Pass. With the PS Plus subscription for $60 a year, something that you would probably get anyway if you wanted to play online, you get access to some of the last gen's best titles, including games like God of War and Persona 5. In my opinion, that's well worth PlayStation Plus's asking price on its own. And then you throw in the fact that you probably would have gotten PlayStation Plus anyway if you were going to play games online, and you have a really sick deal.
Yeah, it's super cool, dude, but, Game Pass.
Yeah, okay, you win.
What does this category even mean? Next gen? Both these consoles are next generation consoles.
Well, this is more about which one feels more next gen. Which box really deserves that next gen title?
Well, then it's obviously the Xbox. The Xbox has better specs, better games, better online, a much better design, and it's more future-proofed. It could do 8K, and it's made to hit 4K 120 FPS down the line. Obviously when stuff starts getting optimized. It's just a better overall package, especially paired with Game Pass.
You make a good point.
Wait, what?
I said you make a good point. For why the Xbox is a good console. And there's no debating that the Series X is definitely a great console. But in terms of next-gen experience, the PS5 just takes the cake.
To counter your point about graphics just get better over time. That's just how it goes. The Xbox obviously had better looking games than the Super Nintendo. But what makes next-gen gaming truly next-gen gaming is how you can use the system to create brand new experiences. And the problem for the Xbox really comes down to that. The two main things going into this next gen are higher frame rates and more immersive controls. And the PS5 already does these better than the Xbox. As I mentioned before, the PS5 hits higher frame rates while not really skimping on graphical quality by any means. The high frame rate modes on games may not look as good as an Xbox Series X version, but they definitely play better on PS5 since they're more smooth. A higher frame rate means more buttery looking graphics, and even if you have 4K and even 8K, if the frame rate takes a hit, that won't feel as next gen. The One X was capable of hitting 4K, but it's those high frame rates that really matter. The Xbox isn't any slouch in the frame rate department either, but the PS5 is objectively better in that department. And the second thing is the immersion. The Xbox One controller was basically the 360 controller, but a little touched up here and there, because, hey, if it ain't broke, no point in fixing it. And the same thing is going on with the new Series X or S controllers. But now it's gotten to a point where the same old strategy just doesn't work anymore. The PS5's controller just has more in it. A rechargeable battery that can be plugged in while playing so you don't have to go fishing for AA's. A touch-sensitive bar which essentially gives you another input method. Higher quality rumble, which can be much more immersive in the game since it has more nuances in the rumble strength. Adaptive triggers that actually give you real-time feedback of what you're doing on screen and make the whole game that much more immersive. The whole point of each passing gen is to make the player really feel the world of the game, and the PS5 achieves that already through its high frame rate modes and more thoroughly than the Xbox ever will because of its controller. And that's what makes the PS5 truly the next-gen console to get.
Well, I got nothing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. This round goes to PS5. started FaceOff, it was initially pitched as a definitive answer to these questions. We weren't ever going to give you that simple answer of whatever's best for you. And don't worry, we're still not going to do that. But this time, we found it necessary to keep them even in terms of raw numbers, in terms of points.
Both of them are next-gen consoles and worth their asking price in their own way. And both are solid buys if you can somehow pick up one this holiday season. It just doesn't feel right to put one as better than the other since they came out literally a month ago and we don't even have the full game lineup yet.
It's a little too early to make any deep decisions about which console is going to be the one that goes down in history as the better console. We're only a month out from the console's releases. But there's still going to be a winner. We wouldn't do you like that.
And yes, unfortunately, the winner is not Xbox.
The PS5 takes this face-off.
The Xbox may have the better specs and may be more consumer friendly. Hell, it even looks better in terms of pure aesthetics. But when it comes down to it, the deciding factor is still the games and the experiences. The Xbox Series X may be a more powerful console, but it sure doesn't look like it yet. The PS5 already has a good helping of exclusives that make it look leaps and bounds ahead of the Xbox. And those exclusives are only bound to get better over time as the devs really come to know this hardware. That also goes for the Xbox, of course, but the PS5 has a much better baseline already. On top of that, the new experiences that the new controller brings, despite it not being quite a looker, just like the main system, still trumps the boring, same old controller of the Xbox Series X. Yes, it's nice that you can use your old controller, and yes, full backwards compatibility with your Xbox One library is also nice, but when you judge a new console, you judge it with the new experiences you can have, not replays of the old ones. The PS5 is the more innovative, more immersive, and more next-gen of the next-gen consoles. The winner of this face-off is the PS5.
Anyways guys, thank you all so much for watching this newest episode of Face Off. We hope you enjoyed it. This is a monthly series that me and Brick General do. Every other episode is on my channel and every odd episode is on his channel. So if you want to go check out the other videos, go to his channel and go check him out, as well as just go over there. He's actually a pretty decent guy, other than the fact that he always has wrong opinions.
My deepest apologies, Phil son. I have brought dishonor to your name, and these Sony hooligans have taken over our great Xbox domain. I promised you, we will make things right, and we will rule the world. I'm sorry, Phil.
And also, be sure to check out the playlist. It'll be linked in the description. The playlist has all of the videos in the series, including the ones on my channel and Brick General's channel, so you have every single video in one place. Also, while we're on the subject of links in the description, there's also a link to the Brick General Discord, where we usually hype up face-offs and we'll announce when the next one's gonna be. And usually ahead of time, we'll at least tease something about the face-off sometimes, you know, give people sneak peeks, get people talking and speculating about whatever the next one's going to be about and who's going to win. And we'll also have premieres with everybody in the Discord where we announce, hey, the Discord's going live at this time, go on this link at this time and go ahead and watch the video. And it's usually a lot of fun, so go ahead and check that out.
And the next one will be over on my channel, which by the way will be linked in the description along with my Discord server. Make sure to join that up and let's see if you're going to win next time.
Yeah, buddy, we'll see about that. Anyway, guys, if you guys did like this video, be sure to leave a like down below, comment below how hype you are about Face-Off and what you want the next Face-Off to be. We might take it into consideration. And like I said earlier, go ahead and join the Discord. We usually have some conversations about the Face-Offs and what the next couple should be over there as well. We do have the next couple planned out, but we're always looking for more things to argue about. We're always looking for more Face-Offs to make. And go ahead and leave those in the comments section below. Subscribe to my channel and go ahead and subscribe to Brick Journal as well. He's also a pretty awesome guy, makes pretty fun videos on Minecraft and COD, as he said. And you know, it's always good to share the love on YouTube. Also, go ahead and be sure to hit that bell icon down below and get notifications every single time a video drops, as soon as it drops, including the moment in time I go live. Anyways, that's about it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching once again. I'm the PowerPunk Gamer, and my lights are out. Peace out, everybody.